This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City update on Tropical Storm Emily as of August 4th, 5 p.m. We now have a system that has officially dissipated according to the National Hurricane Center. You see it right there. Tropical depression dissipated at 5 p.m. August 4th. And they have the location just west of the southern peninsula of Haiti here, but I don't know if that's correct position of the center of the circulation. I think what happened was the system got disrupted by upper level winds, and a mid-level circulation is now over land between Haiti and Hispaniola, and that may be the one to watch when it gets into the Bahamas. This is pretty much washed out, this low-level circulation. So we'll see if the mid-level circulation regenerates in the Bahamas, and the Bahamas is still going to have to watch this system closely to see what it does once it gets back out over the water. But there are no more advisories being written on Tropical Storm Emily at this time. Well, the hurricane hunters are flying around out there right now, and there's the latest fixes. Now, they cannot fly over land, so we're only seeing winds out here around 20, 25 miles per hour out over the water from the south, as the center is somewhere up over land here. And there looked like there was a little bit of a circulation right here earlier today. The current feature was Jacmel, Haiti, as the system looked like it still had a little bit of a low-level circulation, but now it's completely washed out over here. Our current feature is now Port-au-Prince, Haiti, as they're going to get some heavy rain out of this system. And the circulation, again, is somewhere over land here. But, in fact, if we look at the latest observations from Port-au-Prince, we can see winds here gusting to 35 out of the east, 10 millibars, and some gusty winds. They're going to get some rain, probably several inches of rain, maybe even up to maybe a half a foot of rain. Even though this system is dissipating, it's still going to unleash quite a bit of rain, so I hope they're ready for that in Haiti. I still have about 600,000 people living in tents in the aftermath of the earthquake from last year. All right, let's take a look at the visible shot of Emily here. And again, you can see sort of a mid-level circulation right over land in this last shot, right down in here. And, you know, the system came along like this, and then it kind of slowed down in here, and it just kind of wobbled around down in here, and now it looks like it's maybe drifting north a little bit. And the low-level circulation kind of drifted off like this and is now X'd out. But if we put this in motion one more time, there is another reason why this system weakened other than landmass, and that is an upper-level low. There's a large upper-level low out in front of this that's increasing the southwesterly wind shear. Plus, we have a high-pressure ridge to the south. I'll show you an image of that in just a minute. That's causing westerly wind shear over the top of this system. So it's about 20 knots of wind shear, and that's not favorable at all. So even if Hispaniola was not there, I think this system would still be struggling to maintain with that kind of wind shear. So I know the mountains are getting a lot of blame for this, but that's not the only factor involved with weakening of this system. All right, let's take a look at the latest images we have on this system. I'm not going to show you the forecast track for this because it's basically dissipated, and if it does regenerate, it's going to be in a different position, so there's no real point looking at the models. But I do want to show you this one model. This is from August 1st, and this was right before the hurricane warning show, not the hurricane warning, the weather and the media show we did on August 1st, where I had Jim Leonard and Derek Sibley here in the studio. And we were looking at the models, and at that time, the ECMWF washed this system out down here. And in fact, we, at least Jim Leonard and myself, were indicating that we thought this was going to dissipate and not be much of a factor. And that's why we didn't want to spend too much time talking about Emily during the show, because in a month or two from now, nobody's going to care about Emily. But the system was predicted by the ECMWF to wash out down here right around eastern Cuba or Haiti, and that's exactly what happened. So the ECMWF did a very good job. The other models, on the other hand, had this system moving up through the Bahama Island chain and possibly becoming a hurricane, but that never panned out. Of course, the jury's still out. The mid-level circulation could work its way back over land, over water here. And, you know, it's quite possible these tracks could end up eventually panning out if this regenerates, so maybe none of the models were wrong. Who knows? But overall, the model performance was horrible on this system. Early on, models were indicating it was going to be out here, moving like this. Some of them took it through Puerto Rico as a hurricane, and then through northern Hispaniola. None of those models panned out, so the models had a really hard time with this system. And again, the hurricane hunters, they've been flying around out. They spent a lot of time flying this system, and they're currently out there right now, but I think this will be the last flight unless it regenerates over the southeast Bahamas. We'll have to watch for that. Now, here are the mountain ranges that are affecting the remnants of the system right now. And again, we have 8,000-foot mountains down here around Jacmel and Port-au-Prince, and 3,000-foot mountains on the western peninsula. But I think this system is up in here somewhere. We have still about 6,000 to 8,000-foot mountains, so it's got a long trek to go. And regeneration looks like it's unlikely, but we'll have to watch that mid-level circulation nevertheless. Here are the mountains of East Cuba. This is going to be a non-factor because, again, our low-level circulation washed out south of Guantanamo. But we have, 5,000 to 6,000-foot mountains down around here, so it still has a lot of land to pass over, and the system is really going to struggle to make a comeback. Now, here is the main reason why this system is dissipating, in my opinion. This was from yesterday when it was well south of Santo Domingo, and you notice this high-pressure ridge down, a little bit of a ridge down south of the system, causing westerly wind shear over the top of the system. Now, if we go to today's image, it's even expanded a little bit larger and more wind shear, 20 knots right through our system. So that's what's really doing the system in more than the landmass itself. Now here is the steering flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and if you look at this map here, you would follow these grids here and it would take it basically right into the Bahamas. And notice this big strong ridge over the southeastern United States. That's causing northeasterly winds over the state of Florida and down into the Gulf of Mexico. But this is why there was a lot of discrepancy in the models, because if you notice here, some of the wind barbs show a westerly turn here, and the BAM models, the shallow models, were indicating that this system could continue to the west, where the more of the global models indicated it would follow the upper level steering flow. But looking at this, we have this high over here out in the Atlantic that's weakening and breaking down a little bit, and then we have this high over here, and in between we have, it actually looks like kind of a face here, doesn't it? We have two eyeballs, we have a mouth here, and the mouth is now eating Emily and chomping it up right now, and that's the situation. Doubtful this is going to make it in the Bahamas, but if look at the steering flow, it would go right through the Bahamas, and then eventually the scoop up here would take it right out to sea, and that's the scoop right up here north of these high pressure ridges. So that's about it. We'll keep an eye on the remnants of this system. Once again, here is the visible floater of our system. Our current features, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. You can keep the latest information on what's going down. There are no webcams down there, by the way, but you can keep track of the radar and the news coming out of Haiti. Over the coming days, there might be some fatalities due to flooding out there. That's it for now. We'll be back with another update tomorrow if the system starts to regenerate, or it looks like it may regenerate. That's it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.